Hi everyone, I'm Christopher, and today I'm going to be installing this WizLink Vision Tech digital cluster on my wife's Jeep. So let's open this up and take a look at what's inside. I'm using a pen to open this. Okay. So far the packaging seems really nice. Comes with some cables. I'm guessing we're going to use this to transfer the data from our original cluster to this digital cluster. Okay. Wow. This looks and feels really nice. I like the rubbery feeling. I wouldn't be sure how to... The rubbery plastic feeling feels really good. But obviously you're not going to be touching this. And then it comes with the outlets, the connector cables in the back. As we install this, we'll figure out what each one does. So just these two items. No instructions as I can see, so... I was wrong earlier. The instructions actually are provided inside the bag with the cables. I realized this midway through the installation. We'll figure this out. Let's get to it. To install the digital cluster, we need to remove the knee bolster panel. And in order to do that, it's best to raise the steering column to the highest position and then pull on the top edge of the knee bolster panel and work your way down on both sides to release the clips. Once you've removed the panel, we need to remove the two 7mm bolts that are now exposed, one on each side of the steering wheel. Now we're going to remove the upper tray liner from the top of the dash and unscrew the 7mm bolt beneath it. Then, using the provided pry tools in the kit, grab the window control switch and slightly lift up and carefully use your pry tool at the bottom to release it from the dash. Now, in order to disconnect the harness, twist the switch and slide the red lock tab out. Then press the black latch tab on the connector to remove the switch module. Then, remove the 7mm bolt at the bottom of this opening. Now we can remove the dash panel. Carefully pull the upper dash panel toward yourself to remove it from the vehicle. Make sure to unclip it from all around the dashboard, including around the cluster. Then, we will start by removing the 4 bolts holding the factory cluster in place. Once the bolts are out, gently pull the cluster towards you and disconnect the cables attached to the back. Oh, there we go. I use a plastic pry tool to help release the clips because they can be pretty tough to take off. Oof. After removing the final cable, the cluster will come free. Set it aside somewhere safe and easy to reach because we'll need it again later in the installation. The kit includes 2 sets of cables. One is for future updates to the digital cluster via USB. The other we're only going to use once to synchronize all the information from the OEM cluster to the new digital cluster. First, run the USB cable through the cluster opening and behind the radio. My radio was removed at the time because I was also installing my Android head unit. But you should still be able to fish the cable through even with the radio in place. It might just take a bit more effort. Open up the glove box and you should be able to pull the cable all the way through. Now that we have the USB in the glove compartment, we can connect the synchronization cable to the top middle white connector pin. Press it in firmly until it clicks into place. Now we can connect the digital cluster to the dashboard cables. I lowered the steering column to give myself more room, which made the install easier. Then connect the USB cable to the bottom white connector. We're going to get our black one. Black goes to black.
What is that?
Not me.
Let me guess. Gold goes to gold.
That's brown. And then black goes to black. And then if you don't have this one, you don't have it. Okay.
This ain't rocket science, people.
It could be.
It could be.
At this point, the instructions will tell you to connect the OEM cluster to the adapters coming from the digital cluster. Same rules apply: black to black, brown to brown. Turn the ignition on. If you purchase the control bundle and you install the control, you should have no issue figuring out what button does what. If not, your menu button will work as the OK button. The instructions provide a visual on what button does what with the OEM control. Press OK. This will begin the synchronization process. Once it's finished, you're good to go. You can now remove the sync cables, disconnect the OEM cluster, and reinstall the screws and dashboard trim in reverse order. Now, as you can see, all the information from our old cluster has been transferred to our new digital cluster. If we switch over to off-road mode, the cluster updates the information shown on the screen. Here we can see our tire pressure, which is super useful when you're out on the trails. One cool feature the cluster offers is that when you open or close the door, a Jeep icon appears showing the door status. You can also change the vehicle icon to either a 2-door or a 4-door Jeep, depending on your model. Now back in road mode, we have 5 different display screens to choose from, each with its own unique UI and information to display. After road is rock, which gives an off-roading look. Then you have a snow UI, and a mud UI, which makes your Jeep all muddy. I think that's pretty funny. As you can see, they all display their own unique little details. And then we have sand. Moving into settings, you can customize the cluster to your preference. You can change the color of the odometer ring from a variety of options. You can also adjust the brightness and select your language. Under car information, you can enter your Jeep's body style to change the vehicle icon shown on the cluster. In my case, I have a 2-door Sahara Jeep Wrangler. There's a lot to explore in the car settings, so I'm not going to go over that, but feel free to play around and set it up however you'd like. In the unit settings, you can change how the cluster displays measurements. I'm in the US, so everything's already set up perfectly for me. I'm going to skip over alert settings just like I did with car settings because that's more of a personal preference and you can set that up how you'd like. But under maintenance, you can log when maintenance has been done on the vehicle, which makes it easier to keep track of future services. Now when it comes down to the time and date, there is an annoying issue where the cluster forgets the time and date you've entered when you've shut the vehicle completely off. Thankfully, there is a fix. If you've installed the update cables like I showed earlier in the tutorial, you can download the file I'll link in the description and run the update so the time no longer resets. I've also included an image of the email I received from the seller with more details. Now, as you've probably seen throughout the cluster demonstration, my vehicle's pitch and calibration is all wonky and it shows that I'm upside down or 90 degrees facing up. In order to fix that, all you have to do is press and hold the OK button and the cluster will calibrate itself correctly. And that's everything for this digital cluster. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you have, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Thank you for watching and take it easy.